Okay, so
Pak Bernardino is on the, is already there's an attendee.
What?
He is already in as an attendee.
Yes, I already assigned the Bernardino to be the
Okay.
panelist.
Okay,
Okay, good.
sure.
okay, and Mimi, please also include Naps from Norn in case he's in the attendees.
I saw Rexa is already here. Atma is
Hello,
already
Rexa.
here. Ali is also here.
Okay, so maybe we can start,
Yeah.
or is Pak Dino with us already?
Yes, he's in the attendees team.
I don't see Pak Dino here.
Bernardino. Okay.
Bernardino.
Oh yeah, Bernardino.
Move to panelist. Okay.
Yeah, just move it. Pak Dino to the panelist.
Hi, Pak Dino, welcome. Hey,
Let us wait for Pak Bernardino.
I thought I saw him here, the normal.
Can you add him again, Mimi, in the panelists, please?
Yes, I already promote Bernardino to be the panelist now.
He's still in the
Okay.
attendees?
I saw him in the panel, then he disappeared.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please give us a few minutes to make sure that all speakers are with us. Thank you.
Yeah, let me check to his
Now,
secretary.
now Pak Dino is with us. Hi, Pak Dino, welcome.
Hey.
Sorry.
Hey.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Loud and clear, Pak.
And also, you got a good
Thank
singing
you.
voice.
Oh, let me just turn on the video. All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
We all here.
Okay,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining us, Pak Dino. Okay, so we can start the webinar, and we have with us participants joining as well. So good afternoon to everyone, and for joining us here in this webinar titled Circular Economy Business Performing Well and Doing Good, the Circular Economy Advantage for Indonesian Businesses. This is an ACEBA webinar, which is being organized in partnership with ARIBA, the EU Switch Asia Policy Support Component, the Ministry of Industry of Indonesia, Kadin Indonesia, and Rantai Tekstil Lestari. So we thank you everyone for joining us today. So I'm Lorraine Gatlabayan. I'm an expert from the EU Switch Asia Policy Support Component, and I will be your host for this webinar. Just a few housekeeping reminders. Please bear in mind that the session is being recorded, and all the PowerPoint presentations will be available to you after this webinar, as well as the report. And for the participants, please mute your microphones all throughout unless you're asking questions and in the discussion. And if you have any questions, please put it in the chat so that we can be able to address it during also at the fireside chat. And this program will run for 90 minutes, so we'll try to be on time and per session. So for today's webinar, we have the opening remarks from ACEBA, Kadin, and the Ministry of Industry. Then we will have a keynote presentation from Dr. Rene van Berkel. He will be providing an overview on the EU commitment to support the circular economy transition, as well as some guidelines and frameworks for circular economy to support businesses through ACEBA, and also highlight some examples of these business cases in the region. And we will be showing you a short video from ACEBA. Then we will have the fireside chat session with our distinguished speakers with us. And then we will have closing remarks afterward. So without further ado, I would like to begin first to invite our opening speakers. First, Mr. Thomas Thomas. He is the co-convener of ACEBA, chairman of ARIBA, and also the senior expert of the EU Switch Asia Policy Support Component. Mr. Thomas, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Lorraine. Good afternoon to everyone. Let me first acknowledge Mr. Bernardino Varga, the Vice Chair of for Foreign Affairs in Cardin, and also with the ASEAN Business Advisory Council, Adib Rukan from as the head of the Green Center in the Ministry of Industry, my fellow co-convener, Dr. René Van Berke, Pak Basri, our country expert, all the speakers and moderators, ladies, gentlemen, friends. Thank you for taking time off to join this webinar. I want to first acknowledge and thank Pak Dino from Cardin and Pak Adib of the Ministry of Industry for their support and encouragement. Pak Dino had played a big role in this launch in Indonesia, so to both of you, terima kasih. The ASEAN Circular Economy Business Alliance, or ARIBA as we call it, was launched in Jakarta on 22nd July 2024, 2024, 1 year, 4 months ago. It's an initiative of ARIBA, Sindikat Berhad, which is a purpose-driven, not-for-profit organization that succeeded the ASEAN CSR network in its mission to promote responsible business practices in ASEAN. ACEBA is supported by the EU-funded Switch Asia as a continuation of a project to mobilize businesses in ASEAN for circular economy. At the launch last year, we received support from the EU delegation to ASEAN, the Deputy Secretary General of ASEAN, the Chair of the ASEAN Coordinating Committee for Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, or ASME, Cardin, and the ASEAN Business Advisory Council. On 23rd July 2024, the next day after ACEBA's launch, the ACEBA Indonesia was launched with the support of Cardin, and Cardin became our first country lead for ACEBA. Thank you to Pak Dino and his team for making this possible. Cardin appointed Pak Basri Kamba as the lead person for ACEBA. I'm pleased that Pak Basri is our active country expert that worked hard for this event and to mobilize more businesses to embed circular economy in the operations. We have a framework for implementing circular economy based on 5 principles. You will hear more about it later. We published 87 business cases to show that circular economy in ASEAN is doable. 16 of these cases are from Indonesia. It shows that circular economy is doable, profitable, and contributes to the well-being of our holy planet and the wider society. Going forward, we look for more businesses to joining ACEBA and in participating in our activities across ASEAN. Circular economy enables business governments to achieve their net zero targets. Circular economy holds the prospect of a better life and living conditions for citizens, better profits and outcomes for businesses, while addressing the triple planetary crises of climate change, pollution, and loss of nature and biodiversity. We need to work together to create a movement to do the right things for business, the planet, and society. Circular economy can be a competitive advantage for Indonesia, Indonesian businesses to perform well and to do good, not only for the country, but all its citizens. Finally, I want to thank all the citizens, all the speakers, panelists, and most importantly, the participants without whom we would not have this webinar. So to all of you, terima kasih. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for your opening remarks and also for laying out the ACEBA's vision for business leadership on circular economy here in Southeast Asia. So for our next opening message, we'd like to request Mr. Pak Bernardino Vega, Pak Dino, to provide his opening remarks. Pak Dino is the representative from Kadin, Indonesia. He is the Deputy Chair for Foreign Affairs and an important partner of ACEBA in promoting circular business transformation in the region. Mr. Vega?
Thank you, Lorraine. And
yeah.
yes, thank you, Lorraine. I hope everyone can hear me. I see here Pak Basri Kamba from the Ministry of Industry. Selamat siang, Pak. And here my friend Thomas also from ACEBA. Of course, Lorraine, our moderator, and distinguished representatives from the business institution as well as the government.
Izin Pak Dino,
also,
Pak Apit yang dari Kementerian Perindustrian, Pak.
Oh, siapa? Oh, Pak Apit, yeah. I'm sorry, I was misrepresented. But let me just welcome all of you on behalf of Kadin Indonesia. It is my pleasure to join you at this important discussion on how Indonesian businesses can thrive while driving our transition towards a circular economy. This is important because Indonesia is now entering a significant stage as advancing sustainability is a must. We know that various studies have shown that adopting circular economic measures could unlock up to $45 billion in additional GDP by 2030 and create another around 4 million new jobs, particularly in the manufacturing, recycling, and service-based sectors. We appreciate ACEBA's leadership in this sector in collaboration with the Ministry of Industry, Rantai Textile Lestari, and the EU Switch Asia program to strengthen business leadership on circularity. This agenda, I think, aligns closely with Indonesia's circular economy roadmap 2025-2045, which actually sets a clear agenda for targets for resource efficiency, targets on resource efficiency, waste reduction, as well as industrial transformation. Now, today's discussion also comes as a timely moment in Indonesia as we enter several things. First, the EU-Indonesia Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, which is not only a trade agreement, but it's actually a platform for advancing sustainable supply chains. It's also a platform for SME support. And it also can accelerate Indonesia's shift towards circular production models for businesses. And this also means better market access, higher quality investment, as well as stronger foundation for long-term competitiveness. Indonesia, as you know, is also applying for accession to the OECD, which is targeted to be in 2028. So this is very timely indeed. And at Kadin, we understand that the circular economy is not only about environmental responsibility, it's also about building businesses that are more efficient, building businesses that are more innovative and more resilient. And Indonesian companies in the textile, agri-food, apparel, tourism, as well as other sectors, is beginning to understand that circular solutions actually create value for businesses and society. And across Indonesia, we're also seeing that an increased number of circular economic initiatives are emerging from various sectors. But many of these stories remain unseen and untold for broader audience. So this is very important that the efforts from the EU, from the ASEAN Circular Economy Business Alliance, or ACEBA, can play a very crucial role in promoting circularity in Indonesia to the regional and also global arenas. Through ACEBA, we are hoping that Indonesian products that adopt circular economic principle will gain greater access and visibility. We are also hoping that it can enhance competitiveness, showcasing Indonesia's leadership in sustainable innovation. This initiative serves as a vital platform to amplify Indonesia's inspiring circular economy business cases, as well as foster collaboration that drives sustainable growth across ASEAN and beyond. So Kadin remains committed to supporting companies in this transition through policies, advocacies, capacity building, as well as partnerships across ASEAN and within the EU under initiatives such as the Global Gateway, which is just one example. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today's exchange of ideas and practical experiences is important. And I hope this session inspires everyone, especially the Indonesian industries, to take concrete actions, to innovate boldly and to strengthen partnerships and use more imagination that can advance our shared values and shared visions of a competitive, sustainable, and circular economy. So I thank you again, and I wish you a productive webinar this afternoon. Terima kasih. Selamat sore.
Thank you, Pak Dino, and for your opening remarks and also highlighting the importance of the partnership of Kadin with ACEBA. And we look forward to further activities and partnership for the next year. Our next speaker, we now invite Pak Apit Nugraha, head of the Green Industry Center, to provide his opening remarks. Pak Apit, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lorraine. Honorable Mr. Thomas, co-convener and also chairman of ASEAN Circular Economy Business Alliance, or ACEBA. Also Pak Bernardino, Pak Dino, Deputy Chair for Foreign Affairs of Kadin Indonesia. Salam kenal, Pak. Saya banyak diskusi dengan Kadin, tapi belum pernah berkesempatan dengan Bapak. Also, Mr. Rene van Berkel, co-convener from ASEAN Circular Economy Business Alliance, also ACEBA. Pak Basri Kamba, thank you for having me, Pak, Chairman of Rantai Tekstil Lestari, or RTL, and also Ms. Lorraine Getalbayan, key expert in Switch Asia Policy Support Component, or PSC. Speakers and also esteemed guests, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank everyone involved who organized this webinar really well. From the ASEAN Circular Economy Business Alliance, ACEBA, Indonesia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Kadin Indonesia, and also from Rantai Tekstil Lestari, RTL. Thank you for inviting and also having me in this seminar. I'm honored to be part of this event. Distinguished participants, sustainability and circular economy are integral part to the principle of green industry. Today, industrial sectors is required to accelerate its transformation in response to increasing resources and environmental challenges. Law number 3 of 2014 mandates industries to enhance efficiency and effectiveness in the sustainable use of resources to ensure environmental preservation and societal benefit. This transformation can be achieved through improved resource efficiency, sustainable materials, low carbon technologies, stronger sustainability standards, and also circular economy practices. These efforts align with our national priorities outlined in the National Long-Term Development Plan, or RPJPN 2025 to 2045, and also align with the National Midterm Development Plan, or LPGMN 2035 to 2029, which emphasize green economic development and the reduction of greenhouse gas emission. To support these priorities, circular economy implementation will focus on 5 industrial sectors, including food and beverages, electronics, textiles, construction, and also packaging, including plastics. And further reinforced by the Indonesia Circular Economy Roadmap and Action Plan in 2025 until 2045. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Industry will develop action plans for implementing circular economy practices in the manufacturing sectors, focusing on the electronic, textiles, metals, glass, and ceramic, plastic, and also paper industries, as stipulated in the Minister of Industry regulation. In addition, the Ministry of Industry will also aim to enhance circular economy adoption beyond the priority sectors to other sectors with potential for implementation of circular economy. Circular economy principles have also been integrated into several green industry standards so that certified companies can reflect the industrial sector's efforts in achieving resource efficiency. Furthermore, the Ministry of Industry runs a program that provides advisory support to companies to accelerate their transition towards circular economy practices, particularly through the development of company-level circular economy roadmaps, and to prepare companies to become national lighthouse for circular economy implementation in several key manufacturing sectors, including plastics, electronics, and textiles. Initiated in 2024, this advisory support has begun assisting eligible companies in these priority sectors. And of course, it will extend to other priority sectors to advance circular economy practices across the manufacturing sectors. Distinguished colleagues, as we all know, the textile industry not only holds a significant role in the national economy, but also address various environmental challenges that demand more sustainable approaches. Initiatives such as the utilization of waste product, the adoption of sustainable materials, and also enhancement of energy efficiency and the use of renewable energy demonstrate the industry's initial commitment to circular economy priorities and principles. These efforts are aligned with the Indonesia Circular Economy Roadmap and Action Plan in textile sectors, which emphasize ecosystem strengthening, the implementation of extended producer responsibility, and the reduction of textile waste. Nevertheless, several challenges remain, including the need for enhancement of traceability, limited waste processing technologies, and the variability in the quality and availability of recycled raw materials. Through strong collaboration among all stakeholders, the transformation toward a more sustainable, resource efficient, and globally competitive textile industry can be accelerated. Esteemed participants, we believe that Asian Circular Economy Business Alliance, or ACEBA, is an important platform for exchanging ideas, sharing experience, and strengthening cross-sectoral collaboration. I hope that this platform will foster strong cooperation among all stakeholders and help accelerate the transformation toward a more sustainable, resource-efficient, and globally competitive textile industry. I wish this forum every success and hope it will generate meaningful contribution for all of us. May all of you have a very productive discussion, and thank you again for this opportunity. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Thank you, Pak Apit. Thank you, Pak Apit, for your inspiring message and underlying the importance of private sector commitment towards the implementation of the circular economy roadmap in Indonesia, and also highlighting the importance of ACEBA. So next, we will go to the next session, which is with Mr. Rene van Berkel, co-convener of ACEBA, senior expert with the EU Switch Asia Policy Support Component, and an international faculty member of the Thammasat University. So he will be giving us the broader regional context and the opportunities for Indonesian businesses on circular economy, and as well as highlighting the EU commitment to circular economy and some examples of circular economy business cases across Asia. Dr. Rene, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Lorraine, for the kind introduction. Good afternoon to all speakers. Pleasure to be here and speak a little bit about more the practice of how what circular economy means and how we approach this circular economy from Switch Asia program and from the ASEAN Circular Economy Business Alliance. So maybe a few words about ACEBA. We are basically there to connect, inspire, learn, and act together. So to bring business together, share best practices, and encourage others. We are ASEAN-centered, business-led with Cardina and other business associations elsewhere, the Cebu Chamber of Commerce, the Thailand Environment Institute, and others. And we are trying to bring companies together that commit to lead by example in the circular economy adoption and then spread the word forward. Led by ACEBA and seeded and supported by EU Switch Asia program, which has been a large initiative which already runs since 2007, but in the recent years, since 2023, 2023, has been focusing on the policy support component and has also been working on regional initiatives on the circular economy and sustainable consumption and production. So you can see it on the different websites, and ACEBA has been very active in providing knowledge products. Pak Thomas already mentioned 87 business cases. There's also a framework and some guidance document, which I'll come back to. So I think just to take a step back, circular economy is clearly a policy priority. We see that with this map, which is a snapshot of countries that have a circular economy policy. This is not 100% coverage, but it's about 80 countries on this point, and it's increasing. There's more countries committing to circular economy, and we've also seen over the weekend actually at COP30, circular economy is now also introduced in the action plan for mitigation, for climate change mitigation, and I would argue it's also relevant to adaptation, but it's really clearly recognized. The EU has been one of the front runners on the circular economy initially in the Green Deal, which was already launched in 2019, which is a bigger and competitive economy, and you basically can see the Green Deal as a package announcement which creates almost 75 policy provisions in these different areas which are highlighted here. You won't see separately the circular economy. The circular economy is more a cross-cutting strategy towards these 11 themes and contributes to food, to clean energy, to also the international dimension, which is then the reason why the EU is also collaborating with Switch Asia and ASEAN to advance the circular economy. So after the Green Deal, the EU launched the Circular Economy Action Plan 2020. That's to transition to circular economy, and it's basically has three pillars. So one is on the sustainable product policy framework, so to make sure that we get circular products into the market, then to transform key product value chains, electronics, batteries, plastics, textiles, and the third one is to create markets for waste so that there is no waste left, but it becomes secondary materials. Actually, the EU is currently working on a Circular Economy Act, which will further make then legislative requirements for the trading in secondary materials, which is expected to come into force in 2026. But clear it's there that the EU is focusing on products, and that's clear with a separate strategy which came out for sustainable and circular textiles in 2022, and it's really aimed at creating durable, repairable, recyclable textiles that are made of recycled fibers, free of hazardous substances, and also countering the trend from away from fast fashion to more durable ways of fashion, and that is complemented by the Eco-Design for Sustainable Product Regulation, which came out in 2024, which is really a framework legislation that's focused on creating markets for sustainable products and pushing out unsustainable products from the European markets. That is still being operationalized, but there is now working groups working on this, the eco-design requirements, which products will have to meet with apparel, starting with apparel, furniture, mattresses, tires, iron and steel, and aluminum. So this very much a focus on products. Then I'll jump to Southeast Asia, and it's already mentioned. ASEAN has a framework strategy for circular economy and is clearly positioned in the framework of the ASEAN Economic Community, so regional economic integration with a focus on resilient economy, resource efficiency, and sustainable growth. And it's supported or reinforced by the ASEAN SCP framework, which talks about green public procurement and also consumer education and engagement in there. So then we see the countries have acting on this. So there's 7 countries right now which have a circular economy national roadmap of some sort, but also in other countries there's things happening. So that includes then the Bapana strategy, which was launched last year. And we see as a cross-cutting trust areas really the need to engage business. So business has ultimately the technology, the market, the finance, the management power to create new products and processes, and then to contribute to circular economy, and then also quite a strong focus on in the different countries on strengthening public procurement, sustainable public procurement, and extended producer responsibility. Both were already mentioned in the earlier comments by Pak Dino and Pak Apit in their opening remarks. So that brings us down a little bit to the issue that the circular economy is still a concept that has very different interpretations. But we see then a circular economy as an economy that zeroes out, so that brings as close as possible the net inflows of virgin resources that are extracted straight from the environment into the economy, and the net outflows of what is waste from the economy in the environment. And this is commensurate with the ambition stipulated in ISO 59004. That is basically the international standard which came out last year on circular economy. But we try to say that this is not only about materials, so stuff, but also non-material resources, energy, water, but also land, nature is there. We very much focus that if we want to achieve this zeroing out of net inflows and net outflows, we need to do something on circularity, so keeping stuff in continued use, making also efficient use. From the green industry perspective, it was mentioned. So if we use less stuff every time in every product, then it's easier to close the cycle. And the resource substitution, so that means switching from non-renewable fossil fuel-based materials to renewable materials, because they can be cycled back into nature. And we do this certainly, as Thomas was saying, from a perspective of doing well for business, performing well, and then also contributing or doing good for. So I want to maybe share half a dozen examples to illustrate this from our work. As Thomas mentioned, we have 87 business cases, and I take just a few there. Phuc Sinh Corporation is a coffee producer in Vietnam, and they are addressing the issue of declining yields of Arabica because of climate change by developing additional products. So they created the opportunity for recovering the berry husk and the skins into cascara fruit tea, so coffee berry fruit tea. And to do that, they have to improve the coffee harvesting and cultivation practices, so use less pesticides which hit on the skin, and also make sure that it's harvested at the right time to be able to use then the coffee berry husk and skin for this tea. So if you look at that from a business, it's a new product and market development for this new tea. From the planet, it's minimizing of coffee waste, which would ultimately degrade and potentially produce greenhouse gas emissions. And for society, we can say that this company is now basically able to offer a premium coffee price for farmers due to the byproduct recovery, the skins and berry going into tea, and better quality of the coffee beans as well. A second example is from the Philippines. It's basically a hotel, Pico Sands Hotel and a resort. So they did very aggressive, went on food waste reduction to reduce it from 350 grams per plate to 110 grams per plate. So there's almost less than 1/3 remaining over 5 years, and that saved them also a significant amount of money, 125,000 euro. And they have cumulative energy savings by doing energy efficiency upgrades as part of their regular maintenance and so on. So from a business perspective, this this is clearly cost savings of food, energy, water, and waste. And they also produce now a little bit of organic produce from the on-site garden where they do the remaining composting. They've also eliminated, for the planet perspective, single-use plastics, reduce waste generation, and do on-site composting. And for society, they support and community and marine and coastal conservation initiatives. So clearly also a society impact. The comparable cases we have also for Civatel Thailand and for Cambodia, for Philippines and for Laos. So this is not necessarily completely unique. Then SC Grant is here in Bangkok. They are specializing now in mechanical textile to textile recycling. So they take pre and post consumer textile waste, including uniforms and factory offcuts, up to about 400 tons per month, and recover basically the fibers and then make it into new fabric weaving and design and fashion together with fashion and home textile designers. And they have a rooftop solar energy plant. So business, this is new product and market development for clothing, recycled clothing and home textiles. So from a recycling planet perspective, this avoids this waste going to landfill or being incinerated. They do color sorting to avoid re-dyeing of the recycled fabric, and they use some renewable energy, and they engage local weavers and waste collectors to segregate and supply chain the recyclable textile waste. So it's also comparable to payroll. We have Ibu Atma joining us in the second. So there's also other examples here. Then I have been Misa is also from Thailand. It's basically a small startup which is extracting hyaluronic acid from fish bones, and this hyaluronic acid can then be used for skincare products. And they have then combined that with herbal-based self-healing products based on traditional medicine. So here also new product and market development with this new skincare products. They do value recovery from this fish cleaning waste, and they have an additional income opportunity for the local community. Then the last example I think I have is from Advanced Prefab company that's basically specializing in prefabricating beams and wall panels, which use less material to produce the same strengths of material, and it's more controlled production rather than on site. And they do this together with transition to low carbon blended cements, which have lower greenhouse gas intensity, and they can also recycle or reuse the excess concrete for lower valued products for pavers, pots and other initiatives. So in terms of business, this is new product for the construction sector, which has additional quality control and reduced construction time. This results in dematerialization of concrete products, so you need less stuff to make the same bridge or the same house, and lower embedded greenhouse gas emission. And it's also a reduction of the disturbance during a community nuisance during construction. We have Wege from Indonesia, which is also doing similar things. Oh, sorry, I have one more. Cemex is a cement industry in the Philippines. They are introducing these low blended cements where they include fly ash and slags into ordinary Portland cement. They reuse about 400,000 tons of waste as plastic, as fuel, and they have a high volume of waste heat recovery, and they did solar panels, and they have a combined greenhouse gas avoidance of 160,000 plus tons of greenhouse gas emissions. So here's very clear cost savings through substitution and recovery of water, power, raw materials, and water. And they do also product diversification into these low carbon cements. And they divert a larger volume of municipal and other waste from disposal or incineration. And they have some new income opportunities for waste collectors and local government community units. Similar case also for Holcim Philippines and SBI in Indonesia we have documented. So I think I already mentioned, or Thomas mentioned also, that this business case, we have 16 for Indonesia. They are all available from this QR code, and maybe the team can put it also in the chat box, the link to the business cases. But overall, we see that circular economy is a responsible business and innovation opportunity, which is based on doing well, lower cost for materials, energy, and water, other resources in businesses, new revenue opportunities with new markets, new products, and then at the same time doing good for the planet by having less waste, less climate and other emissions, and for society create livelihoods and create some jobs and conserve skills and culture. If a comment that Thomas referred to that, we think that in the circular economy, it's important that we say that ambition matters. So we came up with the guiding principles for business action on the circular economy so that we move beyond just the recycling economy. And these 5 guiding principles are documented in this document, which is also available online, but it says that circular economy is linked to both net zero for climate, but also net zero for nature and net zero for waste and the environment. Then I already mentioned that we look at the 3 strategies of using things circularly, efficiency and longer, and substitution. We emphasize that it's a responsible business. Thomas is highlighting that also in particular, that we say that from a responsibility perspective, companies have a responsibility to look at the impacts of their products and activities on the environment and society. So that also includes how much material is being used and how much waste is generated. I think the way to operationalize circular economy is then through co-creation and ideation, innovation of new products, new services, and through business models and value chains. And ultimately, it's not just about environment, as I just shown, that we are also aiming for net social and economic benefit. And let's be honest, everything we can do to mitigate emissions will be an avoided cost in the future for climate adaptation to climate change. We've also done with ACEBA a delivery pathway for this. We call this SADI, Stock Take Ambition Delivery Integration. So it's basically an activity menu for businesses to work on circularity impact. So we say businesses take stock of what's happening in your surroundings, what are your opportunities and risks, then clearly articulate what's your ambition. So don't think just about what's next year's target, but where do we need to be in 5 or 10 years, and can we then cascade back where are critical pathways for us. Delivery then talks about doing a portfolio of circularity initiatives, which can be both just cut and paste from what others are doing, energy efficiency measures, simple measures, but also pivoting into new products and new markets. And ultimately, we want to hardwire that circular economy into the strategy of business, the vision, and the related parts. So we look very much forward and to opportunities to also engage with stakeholders and businesses in Indonesia to deliver this training and to highlight this. But this is already all available online. So I would maybe wrap up here and say, please stay engaged. You can join the alliance. That means basically that you commit to circularity as a leadership on circularity, or you can just contact us to contribute one of the business cases, or just stay informed and other inquiries. So thank you very much for your attention. Over back to you, Lorraine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Renee, for this comprehensive presentation, providing an overview on the importance of circular economy and also introducing the ASEAN Circular Economy Business Alliance and what has been accomplished so far in terms of partnership with different business organizations, and also highlighting what has already been done by businesses on transitioning to circular economy. And just to provide more information about this ACEBA business cases also, we would like to share with you this video, which will be shared now on the screen. If you can give me a moment. Okay, I hope you could see the screen now.
We all share one planet that supports our lives. Clean air, water, food, and a habitable climate are at risk due to the overconsumption of materials. Some businesses are addressing this challenge by adopting circular and low-carbon solutions. Supplying local premium water in refillable glass bottles avoids the energy use of shipping water globally, prevents plastic pollution, and rewards local communities for their water stewardship. Turning rice husk into biochar for agricultural use regenerates the soil and minimizes the need for chemical fertilizers and energy for irrigation. Connecting factories so that the waste from one industry is used as raw material for another industry. Adopting advanced technology and digitalization to conserve energy, minimize fabric waste, and turn waste fabric into new fabric. making premium mattresses affordable with a subscription service that guarantees recycling and material recovery at the end of their life. By changing the way things are designed, produced, consumed, and returned for repeat use, we switch to a circular economy where natural systems are regenerated. Southeast Asia is home to 70 million businesses. Some are taking action, yet more are needed for the circular economy transition. Play your part. Share your business story. Learn what companies in Southeast Asia are already doing.
Okay, and now we move on to the next part of the webinar, which is the fireside chat, looking at and navigating the circular economy models in Southeast Asia and Indonesia. So in this session, our moderators will be Pak Basri Kamba, who is the senior expert with the EU Switch Asia Policy Support Component, and also the chairman of Rentai Textile Lestari, together with Mr. Thomas Thomas, who is the co-convener of ACEBA, chairman of ARIBA, and senior expert of the EU Switch Asia. We have also with us distinguished speakers who have joined us today in this webinar. Ibu Alia Sarastita, who is the CEO of the new factory from Bandung, Indonesia, who is known for circular fashion and regenerative textile innovation. Mr. Naps Techapangan, founder and CEO of Norn in Thailand, an emerging leader in sustainable hospitality textiles. And Mr. Pak Reksa S. Nil, who is the grants and ESG manager at Husk Ventures in Cambodia, who is working on innovative applications on agricultural waste. And also Ibu Arienda Atma, who is the founder and CEO of Pable Indonesia, a pioneer in upcycling textile materials. And lastly is Pak Muhammad Agung Saputra, Pak Agung. He is the founder and CEO of Surplus Indonesia, a leading platform reducing food waste and supporting zero waste consumption. Pak Basri and Mr. Thomas, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lauren. So a very warm welcome again to everyone, to Pak Dino, Pak Apit, and all participants and panelists. So today I will be joined with Pak Thomas from Singapore. So Pak Thomas, feel free later to jump in anytime to spark the discussions even more. So we are today, 5 of the panelists has already been here. So we are expecting a truly insightful session today, full of ideas, fresh perspectives, and who knows, maybe even new businesses collaborations within 35 minutes of discussion. So let me begin. Maybe to each of you, we start from Mbak Alia from Bandung, and then Mr. Naps, you again here, and Mr. Reksa, later on to Mbak Atma, and then Pak Agung. So the question is about, could you please, each of you, briefly tell us what your company is, what motivated your company to adopt circular economy principles. So what your company is, what motivated your company to adopt the circular economy, and what the first steps look like. Is it easy? Is it bumpy? And so on. So, Ibu Alia, floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Pak Basri, Pak Apit from the Ministry of Industry, and fellow speakers, and of course the ACEBA committee for the opportunity to share our story. Maybe before I go into answering your question, let me introduce myself first. My name is Alia. Today, I'm representing the new factory. We are a textile waste upcycling worker cooperative, so a business owned by workers based in Bandung, Indonesia. We work with textile waste, production scraps, dead stock, and even unused garments, so the post-consumer stuff. And what we do is we transform them into upcycled fashion products, merchandise, and most recently, we also found a way to turn them into panel boards for interior and store design uses. So our output is diverse because we're trying to find solutions to optimally valorize different types of waste that comes our way, and they're quite random. Each waste streams has different characteristics and limitations, so it only makes sense that they have different product pathways, right? So that's what we do now. In terms of how we started, so we started this around the COVID period, actually. So roughly 2022, 2023. And we initially started with just three union workers who were at that time laid off there was a massive factory layoff happening in West Java. And from all of them, three union members gathered, and these were workers that were already running small informal waste management initiatives in their own neighborhood. So this is sort of an extension of what people are already doing then. So we decided to band together to start a business, initially as a temporary solution while we wait for the economy to get better and factory jobs start opening again. So it was initially simply that. And at the start, we didn't have much of a plan. We just wanted to create sustainable fashion products, and that was it. That was the plan. But as we meet more people in the sustainable fashion ecosystem, learn about textile waste and how diverse they are, and understood what brands and the industries actually needed, we kept iterating our business model. And that process of learning and adapting is what eventually shaped what we do today, our business models. Is it a bumpy ride? It is, but it's definitely exciting. And I think as Mr. Rene mentioned, I think this is all about, executing ambitions and vision that we believe needs to happen.
Good, but I understand that among your clients is IKEA and the state-owned electricity company, right?
Yes, that's true. Yes. So part of why we work with different types of waste is because we also work with different types of clients. So sometimes companies come to us with, their uniform problems, right? Their old uniform problems. Sometimes it's dead stocks or sometimes offcuts. And because of the diverse partners that we work with, we need to sort of find different solutions to answer them.
Okay, thank you, Alia. So Kunaps, see you again here. So you're the founder and the CEO of Non Thailand, right? So in one of the event in Jakarta, after our meeting in Bangkok, I did share a story. Please share us briefly about the company and what motivated these ideas to adopt circular economy, and then what the first steps really look like. Mr. Naps, yours.
Thank you, Pak Basri. Nice to meet you all. So my name is Naps. I'm the founder and CEO of Non. So what we do as Non is we provide long-term product subscriptions for brand new products. And at the end of every subscription, we collect the products back, disassemble them, and recycle everything free of charge. So we have started off with premium mattresses because of my background. So my family, we have been in the mattress industry for the past 95 years, and I spent 10 years working with them. So over the 10 years, I discovered that there are three main pain points that are faced by the mattress industry. So firstly, that is the issue of affordability. A lot of consumers and businesses, they had no ways of accessing premium mattresses due to their limited budget. And secondly, there is no way to dispose of used mattresses in an ethical and eco-friendly manner. And thirdly, mattresses don't get recycled because it's not financially viable to do so. And I discovered the circular economy idea back in late 2015. So I decided to combine the pain points with this new circular economy concept. So that's how we came up with the business model. But the underlying mechanism is actually debt financing, because we always need to raise debt before we could purchase the mattresses that would then get subscribed for. And so we have been providing our service in Thailand and Indonesia since late 2018. And it's been a pretty bumpy ride as well on our side. So when we first started, we thought it would be pretty simple. It's basically subscription plus end-of-life recycling. But then as we progressed, we discovered that there was no like realistic way in which we could get the debt with which to buy the products. So that's why at the end we came up with our own solutions. So we're the first startup in Thailand to issue green bonds. And from that, we moved on to issuing our own digital investment tokens in fiat currency, in Thai baht, for that purpose. So I think, yeah, so on the whole, like in the end, we have been pushed to innovate, to keep moving and, to implement the business model. And that's our journey so far, yes.
Thank you, Nadab. So here, we still have Pak Apit Nugraha. He is the head of the Green Industry Center of the Ministry of Industry. Pak Apit, if you still listen to me, that NAPS is going to run the business in Indonesia starting next year, correct, Mr. Naps?
Yes, as I said, we've been providing a service in both Thailand and Indonesia since 2018, and we're looking to scale up in Indonesia, hopefully by early 2027. So now we're in the preparation process, yeah. But then we've been piloting over there, and then we have received really good feedback from our B2B customers. So a lot of them are in Bali, actually. And we also started expanding the service to the home use front as well.
Okay. So before I go to Mr. Reksa, Pak Thomas, do you have anything to add, or should we go?
You're doing very well. Proceed, I think. Yes.
Okay. Okay. To you, Mr. Reksa. The same questions about your company, about the motivations behind that, and then what the first steps really look like in the beginning.
Thank you so much. Before I start, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and fellow speakers and panelists, a very good afternoon. Assalamualaikum. Thank you for the opportunity for me to be here today. So my name is Reksa, and I currently serve as a grant and ESG manager at Hasquencher, Cambodia, where I lead the work of the climate smart agriculture, circular economy, innovation, JETC, ESG, everything, and also the multi-million-dollar sustainability partnerships that we have within our company. And my background is about solid waste and wastewater. So I've been working about 6 years with environment. And what I can describe Hasquencher, so we are a regenerative agriculture and biochar innovation company operating across Cambodia and expanding into Vietnam. And our work is grounded in a simple vision. We transform the waste into the long-term value for farmers, the environment, and the rural economy with the slogan that we would like to building the soil, sinking the carbon, and improving the livelihood of the farmers. And at the same time, we noticed that farmers were struggling with declining soil fertility, rising the input costs, and the effect on the climate change. So our founders saw the opportunity to connect these challenges with a very old solution, the biochar. Biochar is not new, actually. It has been used for centuries by indigenous groups, local farmers across many cultures, especially in Cambodia. But what is new is that we would like to have a very good quality, consistent, and scientific rigor needed for the biochar to support the modern agriculture at scale. However, when we start selling pure biochar into the market, it's not easy. Because when we first entered the market with the pure biochar, we quickly realized that the product quality alone was not enough to drive the adoption, and people don't buy it because they can make it at home. They don't care about the quality. They don't care about the ash contamination and stuff like that. They just think that it's the same biochar. So what we cope with that challenge is that we focus on the research and development, and we find out that how about we make a smart biochar-based fertilizer and we introduce it to the market. So farmers can use the organic fertilizer and also can put the biochar into the soil to amend the soil as well. And this is how we start our business. And Also, yeah, so biochar is a soil amendment. It's not the fertilizer alone, so it's hard to sell. So we focus more on the research and development. That's how we are here today with the multi-million partnership agreement with EU and also the Switch Asia and also the SNB and among other institutions as well. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Rexa. So now move to the one of the Indonesia's pioneer in the textile recycling, Ibu Atma. Go ahead, same questions.
Thank you, Pak Basri. I think our company's background is almost similar with what Bu Alia already mentioned before. So when we started our company in 2020, we realized that the terms like circular economy or even like circular textile were barely understood, because we understand that the awareness was low, knowledge gap was significantly there, and infrastructure also lacking due to high investment costs. And there were no real solution regarding with the textile waste problems that happen in Indonesia. But again, when we talk about the information that happens in globally, we produce like 92 million tons of textile waste every year, less than 1% recycled back into materials, and even like almost 80% from those numbers coming from the clothing waste. So we have to be realized that the textile waste situations that happen in Southeast Asia, especially in Indonesia, is have a different characteristic. We have a different policy, and we also have a different regulation. So when we founded in 2020, which is before COVID, so we understand that there's a lot of textile waste categories that we need to be handled. And it has a different treatment. It has a different texture. It is have a different challenges. If we want to compare with plastic, I think plastic is more easier than textile. But again, we try to realize that any numbers of textile waste that can be recycled is significantly will be creating another impact to not only for our environment, but also social. So we believe that at least to reduce the textile waste not only landed in our landfill, we have to be thinking significantly how we can creating renewable materials and then promoting not only the circular economy, but also how society can be finally understand about the characters of the recycled materials that cannot be find as a similar as a virgin material quality. So we've been working together with not only society, but also school, institutions, corporations, government, also with Bappenas and also with Pak Apit from Kementerian Perindustrian. And we realized that this kind of title that related with the circular textile, it needs hands in hands working collaborations, not only people or also Mbak Alia from other company, but also direction from the policy, from the society, and the way how we can implementing the sustainable lifestyle is also important to solve all these problems. So I think in this session, it's being my honor for giving my perspective and also giving the house people creating sustainable solution for government and also for our country.
Yeah, and then Pebble have been working and supporting the circular economy initiatives by a number of businesses like all the leading banks in Indonesia, right? Okay.
Yes, correct, Pak.
Let's move to Pak Agung Saputra. You already at the airport because Pak Agung just landed from Switzerland.
Yeah. Hello. Hi everyone.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, Pak Agung. So, Thomas, so very sorry. You see, when you look all of the 5 panelists, they're all very young, not like us, the gray hair. So everyone is very young.
No hair like me.
So, Mas Agung, same questions. Happy landing in Jakarta. So, number one, what's your briefly tell us about what your company is and what motivated your company to adopt circular economy principles? Because I know before this is not your core business, right? And then how do the first steps really look like?
Yeah, thank you, Pak Basri. Thank you, ACEBA for for having me. So apologize for the inconvenience because I'm still at the airport. Again, my name is Agung. I representing Surplus Indonesia. It's a marketplace for near expiry product, overstock or dead stock product from food, fashion, electronic, furniture, or even electronics. And then we will sell them through our Surplus app in a clearance sale way. So everyone can have a cheaper price without sacrificing quality. So nothing goes to waste, everyone's wins.
When did you start this business, Agung?
So I started in 2020. When I started the Surplus app, there was a very challenging situation because this is new for our society, and the stigma was very negative. So when we introduced Surplus app, everyone regard that this is it's a expired food or it's not consumable and something like that. But after they purchase it, after they try it, turns out they become our loyal customers, and we went viral several times. And now we have 1 million users and 10,000 business owners already incorporated or join us in our Surplus app all over Indonesia area. So, but the challenges is still in order to acquire the business owner, we need to convince them, and it takes time, weeks or months. And then after that, we need to increase the awareness from the customer side as well in order to consume the imperfect product or use the near expiry product. So yeah, that's for me, Basri.
And then what did you do in Switzerland? Is it something related to this Surplus Indonesia, right?
Exactly. So fortunately, we got grants from Switzerland embassy at the government, and then I got invited in order to present it Surplus Indonesia business model because they are concerned on sustainability and technology, so it's perfectly fit to Surplus Indonesia business model.
Wow, congratulations! So,
Thank you, Pak.
what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs that who would like to apply a circular economy business model? Because you just mentioned, and just like the other panelists, they also mentions the beginning is bumpy, right? And he also mentions which is not popular, and now you gain 1 million users. So what would be your best tips or your best advice to young entrepreneurs, especially that who would like to apply circular economy business model? Go ahead.
Yeah. So my advice is just start it first. Start from small first, and do not use any complex or any difficult one like a technology or something. Just use like just join the circular economy community first, and then you will starting your business as soon as possible. That's right. That's my advice, Bas.
Wow, good. Community. And Mr. Naps, any advice?
Yes, I do echo Agung. I think start with the simplest business model possible and see whether there's any product market fit, like whether there's any demand. And before you start making fine-tuning the business model. And I think the other advice is just be patient because everything takes time to implement. And when there are obstacles or challenges, I mean, just keep pushing until you find the solution. Because if the underlying business model makes sense and if there's demand for it, then at the end, it has to be implementable in some way. It's just that, maybe on the technical side, you would have to push until you find the right solutions. I think that would be the true advice, yeah.
Okay, good. Very good, Naps. So, Mr. Reksa, I'm similar but a bit different. So there are a lot of companies, I believe it's not only Indonesia, but also in Cambodia, Thailand. There's so many existing companies, including the family-owned business, still look and see. Others also hesitant to start their circular transition. Question is, what practical piece of advice would you offer based on your own journey at the Husk Ventures in Cambodia?
So thank you for the question. For the business model that Husk is applying nowadays, we build the model around people, not the product. So if you look at the biochar, we don't sell pure biochar, but we mix it with the raw material, with the micronutrients, and make it as a smart biochar-based products. So because we want to meet the needs of the farmers at the field, because they are the cornerstone of Cambodia, also for the Southeast Asia. So we don't focus on the products alone, but we want to know what the people need. This is the first advice that I can give. The second one would be, do not work on this journey alone, because the circular economy, or to thrive in this ecosystem, is really difficult. So reach out to cooperatives, universities, NGOs, INGOs, and technical partners. Because if you look at Husk, our growth actually accelerated when we embraced the collaboration, and every partners bring a different piece of the solution. And last but not least, we need to embrace the measurement that we give the impact back to the society, whether it is carbon reduction, waste recovery, or farmer income. Because if you look at us right now, more than 5,000 hectares was improved, almost 2,800 ton of carbon dioxide was sequestered, and about 6,300 of smallholder farmers families revenue was improved. So if you look at this impact, it's not just a number, but it's a clear evidence that build a trust, attract the investors, and also motivates the team. And it's not just about the reporting, about the impact reporting, but it is the source of the pride, and it will be the driver of the momentum of the company as well.
Okay, so before I go to you, Pak Thomas, Bu Alia, question is different. Consumers play a key role, So how the TNF, the new factory, educated or engage customers to support or participate in your circular initiatives?
Yeah, okay, this is a tricky one, because I think we are at a point of our existence, let's say, where we've accepted that maybe sustainability messaging alone is no longer enough. I mean, consumer buy product because they are functional, because they're well designed, because they're priced appropriately. And then the sustainability part becomes like the last push, right? So I would say focus company needs to focus their, experimentation and R&D in product design and usability. I think that's inevitably the strategy and the route that we have to go to in order to be relevant in the market.
Good. Pak Thomas, any questions to Ibu Atma and
No, I don't have any
else?
questions, but after the last question, I just thought there are some very important lessons that all the five of you have linked back to the position that you came up with. Maybe that's our, at the end of it, just some of that. Or you want me to say it now, or we've finished?
No. I will
okay.
ask Ibu Atma the same question. Yeah, the same question about how Pebble, how has Pebble educated or engaged customers, stakeholders to support or participate in the journey of the circular initiatives of Pebble? Because I know it's not only bumpy, I think it's rocky and it's very tough for Pebble compared to where Pebble is today. Go ahead, Bu Atma.
So we learned something with our journey. So the most expensive cost, actually, the awareness cost. So when we try to educate the society, it depends, because we have a different social backgrounds, we have a different economic backgrounds, which is we cannot using the same language that we creating in Jakarta instead of if we talking with the people in Papua. So again, the expensive cost for creating the awareness and also creating the demand as well is part of the most challenging part at this moment. So again, we started with something that we can work together with. So like institutions, schools, as you mentioned, we collaborate with a banking system, with SOEs as well. So we started with the people that have a voice. So it will be like help us, like managing our energy as well. not only talking with millions of people at the same time, but again, like the impacted every numbers is really matter at this moment. So we believe that when we have a cooperations with, for example, these financial institutions, they have almost like 30,000 employees, and how much they will creating the same information with the family, with the friends, with the colleagues. So again, like every numbers at this moment is really matters, and we try to saving our energy because we understand that this circular economy business model is not only about the running as fast as you can, but also it is kind of marathon. So you have to maintain your energy, your breath, your everything. So it would be, again, we will finish together at the same line.
So much. Thank you. Okay, so thank you so much all for the 5 panelists. I think Lorraine, I'll give it back to you.
Maybe just to wrap up the session, I would like to request Mr. Thomas to provide this insight coming from, what has been discussed during the fireside chat.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lorraine. I thought for all 5, we learned some valuable lessons and which reinforce the message for Rene was talking about proceeding. Well, first and foremost, I realized that everybody wants to solve a problem, which was like a crisis, if it's unemployment or waste management or changing the business model of your company. And we solved it simply and started small, but build on it. And the other point is also that you also needed collaboration, you need partners. Nobody started on their own. You need to build with businesses, consumers, other allies, and then you build, which actually coincides very well with the model that we have prepared for moving circularity on SEDI as one of stock take, ambition, delivery, and integration. When you take stock take, all of you in looking at those analyses, in very implicit ways, actually took care of what is the context, what is the best way to progress. And you also had ambition to solve a problem. And the point is that you also, in part of ambition, you learn by doing and you have continuous improvement, and you didn't start with the big, but you started simply, and the simplicity helped to do it. Indeed, you were able to deliver in the terms of this, you adapted, you pivoted where you are, and you build more allies, you build more customers. And you integrated the whole thing by monitoring the results, aligning the business to all those elements. And you also have good governance, which is useful because without good governance, you cannot really measure, adapt, and implement. So I think some of the most important lessons, even going forward, is that you also was very key in your problem, in your crisis, to have a positive impact on society. And you looked about by seeing what you have, what you need to solve, who are your allies, who are your partnerships, and look at continuous learning. And when you learn and bring, you create more allies, and the momentum is built up. I think that the important lesson is you start, you start building up the things rogues, and I wish you great success in building greater momentum. I think that, thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. As there are also no questions from our participants, do you have anything to add, Dr. Rene?
I want to add something before Rene.
Yes, Pak Basri.
Yeah, so Bapak Ibu sekalian and all participants of the webinar, this is not ACEBA's first business forum in Indonesia, and it definitely won't be the last. In just a few weeks to come, ACEBA, together with EU Switch Asia, will roll out a series of activities in Jakarta and Bandung, including a masterclass training. So stay tuned. So we will share it if that's going to happen in the 2nd or 3rd week of December. So that's it, Lauren. And again, thank you for Alia, Kunaps, Mr. Reksa, Batma, and Pak Agung. Thank you so much. You share a lot of stories that I believe everyone will get benefits from it. Lauren.
Thank you, Pak Basri. Dr. Rene, Pak Apit, do you have anything you would like to say after hearing from our distinguished speakers? in this session?
I think from my perspective, it's very encouraging to hear these stories, and some I know, some are new to me, so it's very encouraging to hear those. And I think they reiterate the kind of the framework what Thomas was also saying. So what we have seen in the business case across the 87 or so, which we have, is the kind of the leadership, the kind of vision which is there, and I think that is really important and gradually growing it. So nothing is we don't get to the top of the Mount Everest in one step. We need to make some steps and start moving in the right direction. So I think that's also the trust of ACEBA, that we say, well, start pivoting, start adapting some of the measures, and then you can start growing and developing, and you also a business case, a business benefit in terms of new products, new markets, new cost savings that can also translate into environmental benefits and community benefits. So very much appreciated, and I would echo what Pak Basri is saying. Stay tuned. We will definitely be in a couple of weeks in Jakarta and Bandung for some events, and would welcome you there to discuss this much more in detail, to have much more granularity in the discussion on what circular economy is and how you can make it happen for your business. So thank you very much. Over to you, Lorraine.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rene. I don't know if Pak Apit is still with us.
Yeah, I think Pak Apit has something quite
Okay.
important for us in Indonesia.
All right.
Yeah, it's about
Okay, so
the action plan.
Yeah.
Is Pak Apit still here?
No, he's no longer there.
No, he left already.
He's not there.
Here.
Okay.
Pak Apit is here. No, Pak Apit is here.
Okay.
I'm still in listening
yes.
mode. So.
Pak Apit,
Okay.
about what you mentioned, the action plan that to be developed by the Ministry of Industry, right? Since we have friends from Cambodia here, from Thailand, so I think that's crucial. When is going to happen, Pak? The action plan of the circular economy.
Yeah, in terms of circular economy in industrial sectors, first we'd like to identify the potential of circular economy implementation. There's one thing, and also, as I mentioned before, we're also developing a new financing scheme to help the implementation of circular economy. But on this matter, we need to identify the contribution of circular economy to the emission reduction, for example, because we are developing a new financing scheme to support industrial decarbonization. So other thing, we also have a lot of concern of the implementation of EPR, and we may in the near future we will also formulate a new regulation or new policy to increase the sustainable material demand, for example, maybe in the form of mandatory sustainable material content in the packaging, maybe for the product packaging. And we also have, in terms of circular economy, right, it's a bit overarching from the textile industries. We also have some concern on the industry who rely on recycled material, for example, pulp and paper industries, or industries who use the recycled plastic, for example. And we will have a deep discussion as well with the Ministry of Environment to help them to also help this particular industry to make sure that they get the sustainable material, and also by increasing the performance of waste management in Indonesia to have to make sure the supply chain of waste management and also the off-taker of their recycled material from the waste, coming from the waste, also can be a raw material for the industries. So that's in the near future that I think relate with the circular economy that we will have in the future from Ministry of Industry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Pak Apit. Since we don't have enough time, we will now close the webinar, and thank you to all our panelists and our moderators for such rich and practical insights on what the businesses are doing and also what's happening in the policy level on transitioning to circular economy. And now I would like to invite Ibu Novita Sari, who is the program manager at the cooperation section of the European delegation to Indonesia, to provide the closing remarks for this event.
Thank you, Lorraine.
Ibu
I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
So, good afternoon to all. As we come to the end of this insightful webinar, I'm filled with hope and optimism for the path we are embarking on together. We have seen through each session today, from the opening remarks to the fireside chat, one thing came through very clearly. Circular economy is not just a concept anymore. It's something businesses are already doing and doing well, whether through new materials, creative upcycling, better resource efficiency, or reducing food waste. Today's speakers show that circularity is practical, profitable, and good for people and the planet. Renee helped us see the bigger picture, how global shifts like the EU Green Deal and new sustainable product requirements are reshaping markets. These efforts are strengthened by the EU's Global Gateway Strategy, aiming to build sustainable and trusted connections that work for people and the planet, leading sustainable progress and mutual growth internationally. And this really matters because it means that businesses who move early on circularity will be the ones who are ready for future opportunities. Our entrepreneurs and innovators brought this message to life. Their stories reminded us that the transition doesn't have to be perfect to start. It just has to start. And many Indonesian businesses are already leading the way. For us in the EU, together with Switch Asia and ACEBA, collaboration is key. None of this happens alone. It is thanks to partners, ARAIBA for leading ACEBA, to our country partners in Indonesia, Kadin, the Ministry of Industry, Rantai Tekstil Lestari, who is supporting us in this growing movement. So let me end simply by saying thank you to our speakers, our moderators, and to all of you who join us today. Your engagement and questions show how much interest and momentum there is around circularity in Indonesia. Let's keep the conversation going, keep learning from each other, and keep turning ideas into action. Wishing you all a wonderful afternoon, and thank you again, and see you at the next sessions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ibu Novita. Once again, thank you to all participants, speakers, and our partners for joining us in this event. For your information as well, please do expect an email from us sharing with you the PowerPoint that has been presented, the recording link of the webinar, as well as the report of the webinar soon. And please join us, as Pak Basri mentioned, that we will have an event in December, an ACEBA Industry Forum and Masterclass on December 9 in Bandung, Indonesia. So please expect an invitation soon, particularly for Indonesian businesses who have joined us in this webinar. Again, thank you and have a good afternoon. Terima kasih.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Terima
Thank
kasih.
you.
Terima kasih.
Bye-bye. Terima
Selamat jalan.
kasih.
Bye.
Terima kasih.